The Power of One More Step. Written and published by Naqib Larry. Introduction. Life doesn't always move in a straight line. There are days when everything feels broken, when dreams feel distant, prayers fall silent, and the heart feels tired. Each of us comes to a moment when taking even one more step feels like a battle. But here's the truth. You still carry that strength within you. This book, The Power of One More Step, is for those very moments. For the times when you feel exhausted, ready to give up, but a quiet voice within whispers, "No, just one more step." It's for the eyes that have grown tired, yet still search for light. For the feet that have paused, yet still carry the desire to walk. For the hearts that have silently shattered, but deep down still hold the courage to rise again. This book is not a lecture, not a sermon. It's a silent journey with you. A journey where every page gently reminds you that no matter how heavy life feels, you can still take one more step. That step may feel small, but it is that very step that brings you to the edge of something greater. Because success doesn't always come through giant leaps. It comes through small, repeated steps, especially the ones you take through pain, fatigue, and silence. If you're standing at a point in your life where everything feels scattered, this book is for you. If you've been thinking of giving up, this book gives you one more reason not to. It reminds you that nothing is truly over. Your journey is still unfolding. This book is for anyone who has ever asked, "Can I really do this?" And my answer is, yes. If you can take just one more step, you can do anything. So come, begin again. Open a new chapter, and remind your heart that the step you take after exhaustion is the one that changes everything. Chapter 1. The step that changes everything. There comes a moment in every person's life when they stand at the edge of giving up, the edge of breaking down, the edge of saying, "Maybe this isn't for me." In that exact moment, what makes all the difference is one simple choice: to take one more step. It doesn't sound like much, but that one step holds the power to change everything. Most people quit not because they are weak, but because they don't realize how close they are to a breakthrough. One more step could have opened a new door. One more try could have changed the entire story. One more push could have made the impossible possible. One more step. That's all. Look closely at the people who have achieved greatness: athletes, leaders, entrepreneurs, even the quiet warriors of daily life. What sets them apart from the rest is not always talent, resources, or even intelligence. It's the decision to keep going when everything inside them says stop. It's the choice to move forward when failure feels too heavy. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is often just one more step. That single step is what separates winners from quitters. It's the step that builds resilience, sharpens focus, and fuels mental toughness. Your mind, however, will try to convince you to stop. It will feed you excuses. You're too tired. You've failed too many times. Maybe it's just not meant for you. But those thoughts are lies born from fear. Your mind is built for survival, not success. And when you aim for something bigger, it panics. That's why, just before a breakthrough, the urge to quit feels the strongest. The voice of doubt gets louder. The excuses become more convincing. But if you can silence that noise, even for a moment, and just take one more step, you will begin to rewire your own beliefs. You'll prove to yourself that you are not weak. You are powerful beyond measure. You are stronger than you think. There is a fire inside you. It may be small right now. It may be buried under self-doubt, rejection, or pain. But it's still there. And every time you take one more step, that fire grows. Every time you don't give up, you remind yourself that you are not a victim. You are a warrior. You are not here just to survive. You are here to rise, to fight for your dream, and to inspire others by your example. Right now, you may be tired. You may be frustrated. You may be wondering if it's even worth it anymore. But this is not the end. It's the moment before everything changes. When your body screams to stop, take one more step. When your heart feels broken, take one more step. When your mind says, "I can't," whisper back, "Watch me," and take one more step. This is how warriors are built. This is how champions rise. Not by giant leaps, but by consistent, unshakable, one more step energy. Imagine this. You're digging for gold. You've been digging for weeks, sweating, hurting, tired, but finding nothing. You're ready to quit. But what if you were just 1 inch away from the treasure? Most people give up right there, never knowing how close they were. That's the tragedy of giving up too soon. Don't let that be your story. Don't let frustration blind you to how far you've already come. Take the next step. Swing the axe again. Hold on a little longer. You may not be able to control everything in life. Circumstances, people, outcomes, but you can always control your next step. That next action, that next breath, that next word might be the one that shifts your whole life forward. So when everything inside you says stop, choose to go one more step. And when you do, you won't just survive. You'll grow. You'll lead. You'll inspire. The power of one more step is not just a mindset. It's a decision to never quit on yourself. Because on the other side of that step is the person you've always dreamed of becoming. Chapter 2. When you feel like quitting. There will come a day, maybe today, when quitting will seem like the only option. The weight on your shoulders will feel too heavy, the road too long, and the progress too slow. You'll look around and see others doing better, moving faster, achieving more. You'll hear that voice in your head saying, "Why even bother?" And in that moment, everything inside you will whisper, "Just stop." But let me tell you something that most people never hear. That moment is the gateway to your transformation. You see, quitting often feels like relief. It promises rest. It offers escape. But it also steals your future. What you don't realize in that hard moment is that breakthroughs often come after the breakdown. Success often knocks right after struggle. That feeling of wanting to quit is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're growing. It means you're in the fight. It means you're stretching beyond your limits. It means you're getting closer. Everyone feels like quitting. Yes, everyone. Even the most successful, the most disciplined, the most admired. The difference is, they don't listen to the voice of defeat. They feel the fear, the pain, the exhaustion, and take one more step anyway. It's not about never wanting to quit. It's about choosing not to. The truth is, you've come too far to only come this far. Think about how many challenges you've already faced. Think about the battles you've already won. The days you got out of bed when you didn't want to. The tears you wiped quietly. The silent nights you spent planning, dreaming, fighting through disappointment. You didn't get this far to give up now. You've already paid a price. Now it's time to collect the reward. When you feel like quitting, pause. But don't stop. Breathe. Recenter. Remember why you started in the first place. Was it for your family? For your future? For freedom? That reason still matters. That fire is still alive. Don't let temporary pain make you forget your permanent purpose. Pain is part of the process. No growth ever happens without discomfort. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Dreams don't rise without sacrifice. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and so are you. Every time life tests you, it's not trying to break you, it's trying to build you. Quitting won't make the pain go away. But pushing through it? That's what gives it meaning. On the darkest days, when your energy is gone and hope feels out of reach, that's when you must lean on belief. Not belief in results, but belief in yourself. Belief that even if you don't see it yet, your work is adding up. Your consistency is planting seeds. And one day, what you've been fighting for will burst through the soil of your struggle. Remember this: quitting guarantees failure. But pushing forward, even slowly, even imperfectly, always leaves the door open for victory. You don't need to move mountains in a day. You just need to take the next step. One more call, one more workout, one more early morning, one more attempt. It's not about doing it all. It's about doing enough, consistently, with heart. You are not alone in this fight. Millions have stood where you stand. Many gave up, but some didn't. And those who didn't became the examples the world looks up to today. You can be that example. You can be the one who didn't quit, who turned pain into purpose, who turned frustration into fuel, who wrote a story that others will read when they feel like quitting. So when that voice comes again, when it says you're not good enough, not strong enough, not lucky enough, don't argue with it. Prove it wrong with action. Take one more step. That's all. One more step when everything says stop. That single choice can change the direction of your life. You don't have to finish the whole race today. You just have to refuse to quit. Because the truth is simple. People who win don't always feel strong. They just choose to keep going. One more time. And you? You are stronger than this moment. You are braver than your doubt. You are capable of more than you can even imagine. So don't quit. Rest if you must. Cry if you need. But then rise. And take the next step. Chapter 3. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is a beautiful feeling. It gets your heart racing, fills your mind with dreams, and gives you a sudden rush of energy to change your life. But here's the truth. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It fades with mood, weather, comfort, and even sleep. You can't build a strong life on something so unstable. If you truly want to change your story, you need something stronger, something deeper, and that something is discipline. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't wait for the perfect time. Discipline shows up when motivation doesn't. It's the quiet force that pushes you to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's waking up early when your body begs to sleep. It's going to the gym when your mind screams, "Not today." It's writing the page, making the call, showing up again and again. Without applause, without energy, without a mood boost. That is what separates those who achieve from those who just dream. The world glorifies motivation, but it's discipline that builds champions. Ask any athlete, entrepreneur, soldier, or artist. They don't rely on motivation to show up. They build routines, habits, and systems that keep them moving forward regardless of how inspired they feel. That's the truth nobody talks about enough. You don't always need to be inspired. You need to be consistent. Discipline is a decision. It's not a feeling. It's not something you wait for. It's something you commit to every single day. It's choosing what you want most over what you want now. Do you want comfort, or do you want growth? Do you want ease or impact? The decision is yours, every day, in the smallest of actions. Discipline is built in the ordinary moments, when you say no to distractions, when you show up without applause, when you keep your promises to yourself even when no one is watching. Here's a simple but life-changing truth. You won't always feel like it, and that's okay. You're not weak for feeling tired, unmotivated, or lazy. You're human. But strong people don't let feelings control their future. Strong people build habits that lead them where motivation can't. Motivation is loud. It screams with excitement. But discipline? Discipline is quiet. It whispers, "Get up." It says, "Do it anyway." It reminds you of your why when everything around you pushes you toward distraction. And with time, discipline becomes part of your identity. You stop asking, "Should I do it today?" And you start saying, "This is who I am." Want to be fit? Discipline will get you there. Want to be financially free? Discipline is the road. Want to build a business, write a book, run a marathon, become the best version of yourself? Discipline is the key. Motivation might start the engine, but discipline is what drives the car to the finish line. Some days you'll feel on fire. Use that energy. But on the days when you feel low, lost, or uninspired, don't wait for motivation to return. Show up anyway. Take the step. Put in the work. That's what builds real self-respect. Not how inspired you feel, but how consistently you act. Your goals don't care if you're tired. Your dreams don't care if it's raining. Your future self is counting on you to be stronger than your excuses. So train your mind to stop negotiating with laziness. Replace "I don't feel like it" with "It's time to move." That's how winners are made. Every time you show up without motivation, you grow tougher. Every time you choose action over emotion, you build a stronger version of yourself. And soon, discipline doesn't feel like pressure. It feels like power. So let this be your mindset. Don't wait to feel ready. Train yourself to be ready. Don't chase motivation. Build habits. Build structure. Build routine. Discipline won't just change your life. It will build the life you once thought was only a dream. Your greatest strength is not what you do when you're motivated, but what you do when you're not. That's the real test, and you're capable of passing it every single day. Chapter 4. Your breakthrough is one step away. It's one of the hardest truths to accept, that your breakthrough might be just one step away, and you'll never know if you quit now. Most people give up not at the beginning, not in the middle, but right before the turning point. When the pain becomes unbearable, when the failures stack up, when progress feels invisible, that's usually when you're closest to everything you've been fighting for. The path to success is full of invisible lines. You don't always know where the finish line is. You don't know how close you are to the moment that changes everything. But it's there. Just one decision, one connection, one small action away. And that's why you can't stop. That's why one more step matters. Imagine digging for treasure. You've spent weeks, maybe months, digging through hard ground, sweating, bleeding, exhausted, and still no gold. You're tired. Everyone around you says maybe it's time to stop. And just when you're about to quit, the truth is, you may be inches away from hitting it. That's life. You often don't see the reward until you've already earned it. You don't see the breakthrough until you've pushed through the breakdown. What makes this truth so powerful is also what makes it so difficult. You have to keep going even when you see nothing. You have to keep believing even when results are invisible. That's where faith comes in. Not religious faith necessarily, but the kind of faith that says, I don't see it yet, but I trust it's coming. That's how winners are built. Not in moments of celebration, but in moments of silence, struggle, and sacrifice. Your breakthrough could be in the next book you write, the next idea you launch, the next early morning you commit to, the next apology you make, the next door you knock on. But if you stop now, you'll never know. Quitting closes the door. Pushing forward keeps the possibility alive. Think about the moments in your life when you were ready to give up, but you didn't. What happened next? Maybe something shifted. Maybe you found a new path, a better way, a sudden win. Or maybe the growth was inside you. Maybe you became stronger. That strength is a breakthrough too. And sometimes, internal breakthroughs are even more powerful than external success. Every champion you admire has a story that includes the words, I almost gave up. Behind every success is a pile of failures, doubts, fears, and lonely nights. But they kept going. Not because it was easy, but because they believed the breakthrough was still out there, waiting. So if you're tired, if you're discouraged, if nothing seems to be working, take a breath, step back, and ask yourself, what if I'm closer than I think? What if the thing I've been waiting for is waiting for me to take one more step? You see, it's not just about physical effort. It's about mindset. When you carry the belief that your breakthrough is near, your energy shifts. You stop moving like a victim and start moving like a visionary. You stop surviving and start creating. You stop reacting and start leading. That belief alone fuels action, and action is what opens doors. So take that next step. Make that next call. Finish that next task. Keep showing up with all your heart. Because even if nothing happens today, you are building momentum, and breakthroughs are built on momentum, not luck. One more step. That's the difference between almost and actually, between dreaming and doing, between I gave up and I made it. The world will try to convince you to stop. But if you've come this far, you owe it to yourself to see what's on the other side. Don't stop now. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Maybe not next year. Maybe not even next month. But maybe, just maybe, it's one more step away. And when it comes, when that moment finally breaks through the noise, the failure, the frustration, you'll realize every painful step was worth it. Every tear, every sacrifice, every silent morning. Because that moment won't just change your journey. It will change you. Chapter 5. Turning setbacks into stepping stones. Setbacks are not signs that you've failed. They're signals that you're learning, growing, and moving. In life, you will stumble. You will fall. You will make mistakes that hurt, choices you regret, and face moments that knock the wind out of you. But here's the truth. Most people don't realize until it's too late. Setbacks are not the end of the road. They are part of the road. Success is never a straight line. It's full of detours, delays, dead ends, and disappointments. But each of those moments carries a lesson. Every setback is a setup, a chance to redirect, rebuild, and rise stronger. It's not what happens to you that defines your journey. It's how you respond to what happens. You can let a setback bury you, or you can use it to build you. Think about the times in your life when things didn't go as planned. Maybe you didn't get the job. Maybe someone betrayed your trust. Maybe your business failed. Your relationship ended. or your dreams seem to collapse overnight. At first, the pain feels unbearable, but if you look closer, if you give yourself time and courage, you'll find something underneath the pain, a new perspective, a new strength, a better path. That's the gift of a setback. It reveals who you really are. When everything is going well, it's easy to stay positive, focused, and strong. But when life hits you hard, when the floor breaks beneath your feet, that's when your true character rises. Setbacks don't just build resilience, they expose resilience. They don't make you weak. They show you how strong you've always been. Too often we see failure as a final result. But in truth, failure is feedback. It's life's way of saying, not this way, try another. It's redirection, not rejection. Every successful person you've ever admired has failed. The only difference is, they turned their failures into fuel. They used every loss as a lesson. They didn't let their pain become their prison. They turned it into a platform. When you change your mindset about setbacks, your entire world opens up. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Instead of blaming circumstances, start building strategy. Ask yourself, how can I grow from this? How can I bounce back smarter, stronger, and more focused than ever before? Life isn't fair, but it's always teaching. If you pay attention, every setback can become a stepping stone to something greater. But only if you refuse to stay down. Only if you rise with purpose. Only if you choose to see failure as part of the process, not the opposite of success. Because the opposite of success isn't failure, it's quitting. Some of your greatest opportunities will come wrapped in disappointment. Some of your best chapters will start with broken ones. That's how transformation works. It begins with something falling apart, so something stronger can come together. You won't always understand it in the moment. It might take months or years before you see the full picture. But trust this. The setback you're facing today might be the very thing that prepares you for your biggest breakthrough tomorrow. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not your lowest moments. You are the strength that got back up. You are the wisdom that came from the fall. You are the courage that turned pain into power. And every time you choose to take another step, despite the setback, you are building a life no failure can destroy. So stand tall. Dust yourself off. Look your setback in the eye and say, "You're not stopping me. You're shaping me." Let every fall become a rise. Let every no bring you closer to your yes. Let every closed door redirect you to the one that was meant for you. Because in the end, it's not about avoiding setbacks. It's about using them. Let them make you wiser, stronger, humbler, and more powerful than ever before. Your journey won't be perfect, but it will be worth it. And every stone that tried to block your path, one day you'll be standing on it, taller, better, and unshakable. Chapter 6. The Pain of Growth. Growth isn't pretty. It's not neat, clean, or easy. Growth is messy, it's uncomfortable, it's painful. And that's why most people avoid it. They want the results, but not the process. They want success, but not the struggle. But here's the truth you must hold on to. There is no growth without pain. You don't build strength in comfort. You build it in resistance. Muscles tear before they rebuild. Minds stretch before they expand. Hearts ache before they mature. Growth demands discomfort because it pulls you away from what's familiar. It challenges your old habits, your limiting beliefs, and your comfortable routines. And when you fight for your future self, your current self will resist. and that resistance often feels like pain. But pain is not your enemy. In fact, pain is one of the greatest teachers you'll ever have. It reveals what matters. It exposes what needs to change. It forces you to dig deep and ask questions you've been avoiding. Who am I? What do I truly want? What's been holding me back? These questions don't come from silence. They come from the fire. There is a kind of pain that breaks you down, and then there's a kind of pain that builds you up. The pain of growth is the second kind. It hurts, but it heals. It stings, but it strengthens. It doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to develop you. And if you can embrace that process, even when it burns, you will emerge as a version of yourself you never thought possible. You see, we all want the reward. The better body, the peaceful mind, the successful business, the powerful mindset. But rewards don't come from wishing. They come from working, day after day, through the hard moments when you feel like nothing is changing. And here's the cruel illusion. Most growth happens invisibly. You won't always see immediate results. That's what makes it hard. But if you keep going, if you trust the pain is part of the path, eventually, something shifts. And when it does, it's not just your results that change. You change. The pain you're feeling today is not a punishment. It's preparation. It's shaping you into someone who can handle the life you've been praying for. Because big dreams require strong people, and strong people are forged in fire. Every hard conversation, every early morning, every lonely decision to stay disciplined while others relax. That's where your transformation is happening. Don't run from the pain of growth. Don't numb it with distractions or avoid it with excuses. Lean into it. Let it refine you. Let it teach you. Let it strip away what's weak and reveal what's strong. The pain you're feeling is temporary. But the person you're becoming? That's permanent. The truth is, you can either choose the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later. One leads to progress. The other leads to disappointment. One makes you stronger. The other leaves you stuck. Growth will cost you comfort, ego, laziness, and even some relationships. But the price of staying the same is far greater. Because nothing is more painful than knowing you had the potential but never pursued it. You were not made for a small, safe life. You were made to evolve, to rise, to become. But becoming anything great means outgrowing the current version of yourself, and that will always feel uncomfortable. That's how you know it's working. If it stretches you, humbles you, and challenges you, you're on the right path. So the next time it hurts, when the journey feels lonely, when progress feels slow, when growth feels more like grief, remember this. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. Pain is a sign you're stepping into a higher level of yourself. Keep moving. Keep trusting. Keep becoming. The pain of growth is real, but so is the power that comes after it. And when you finally reach that higher ground, you'll look back at the struggle and thank it. Not because it was easy, but because it made you unshakable. Chapter 7. Consistency beats talent. Talent is a gift. It can give you a head start, a natural edge, or a burst of early success. But talent alone isn't enough. The world is filled with people who were incredibly talented, yet never reached their potential. Why? Because they lacked the one thing that turns talent into results: consistency. Consistency is more powerful than talent. Because where talent may give up, get distracted, or feel too good to put in the work, consistency shows up, day after day, with or without applause. It's not flashy. It's not always exciting. But it's the one trait that quietly builds champions behind the scenes. The truth is simple. Small actions, done consistently, beat big actions done occasionally. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you only work when you feel like it, you'll eventually fall behind someone with less skill but more discipline. The world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the most consistent. Because consistency builds habits, and habits shape your future. Think about any area of life: fitness, business, mindset, learning, relationships, and you'll find the same truth repeated. The people who succeed are not always the smartest or strongest. They are the ones who just keep showing up. They write when others are resting. They train when others are watching TV. They practice when no one is clapping. It's not that they don't get tired. It's that they refuse to let tiredness decide their future. Consistency creates momentum. At first, it feels slow. You do the work, and nothing seems to change. But little by little, your actions stack up. Like drops filling a jar, progress begins to build, silently, steadily, and one day, it overflows. People will call it overnight success, but you'll know better. It was consistency all along. Here's what makes consistency so powerful. It doesn't depend on emotion. It doesn't care if you're motivated. It doesn't wait for the perfect time. It builds a rhythm in your life that becomes stronger than excuses. It's showing up when it's boring, showing up when you're tired, showing up when nobody is watching. That's what builds real mastery. Talent may give you potential, but consistency turns potential into power. Without consistency, talent fades. Without consistency, dreams die. But with it, you can become unstoppable, even if you start small. Because consistency compounds, and what feels invisible today becomes undeniable tomorrow. If you want to write a book, it's not about writing a whole chapter in a day. It's about writing a few sentences every morning. If you want to transform your body, it's not about working out for 4 hours once. It's about showing up for 30 minutes daily. If you want to grow your business, it's not about one big launch. It's about steady effort, client by client, decision by decision. Consistency is the secret ingredient behind every meaningful success story. The biggest mistake people make is waiting to feel ready. But consistency doesn't wait. It creates its own readiness. It trains the mind and body to work with discipline instead of relying on emotion. That's why the most powerful question you can ask yourself each day is, what can I do today, no matter how small, to get better? Even one step forward, repeated daily, will take you places that talent alone never could. So, if you're feeling like you're not the smartest, the most skilled, the most connected, stop worrying. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be consistent. You need to outlast, outwork, and outfocus. Because in the long run, the consistent person always wins. Let this be your reminder. You don't rise by occasional greatness. You rise by daily discipline. Your dream doesn't need perfection. It needs your presence over and over again. So keep showing up. Keep building. Keep stepping forward. Because talent may start the race, but consistency is what finishes it. Chapter 8. Small steps, big shifts. We often overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a year, especially when we commit to small, consistent steps. Big goals can feel overwhelming. Changing your life can seem impossible. But the truth is, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, quietly, through simple actions repeated with intention. Small steps create big shifts. Always. You don't have to leap to succeed. You don't need to move mountains to make progress. You just need to move forward, inch by inch, day by day. Most people wait for a big opportunity, a perfect moment, a huge breakthrough. But those rarely come the way we expect. Instead, true growth shows up in the small choices we make when no one is watching. Waking up early, choosing water over soda, reading instead of scrolling, saving instead of spending, showing up instead of making excuses. It's easy to ignore the power of small steps because they seem insignificant at first. But just like a single drop of water can shape rock over time, your smallest daily actions can reshape your entire future. What matters most is not how far you move in one day, but how consistently you move forward, even when progress seems invisible. You don't need to write a book in one sitting. Just write one page. You don't need to lose all the weight in a week. Just take the walk. You don't need to become an expert overnight. Just study for 20 minutes. These little acts might feel small now, but when repeated, they create unstoppable momentum. And momentum is what shifts your mindset, your confidence, and your direction. Small steps also do something even more powerful. They create belief. When you keep a small promise to yourself, no matter how tiny, you begin to trust yourself again. That's where self-confidence is born. Not from massive wins, but from proving to yourself again and again, I can follow through. That belief becomes fuel, and that fuel drives change. Think of anyone you admire who has achieved greatness. At some point, they were just like you, unsure, unprepared, and starting small. But they moved anyway. They didn't wait for perfect plans or lightning bolts of inspiration. They took the next step they could see. And eventually, those steps added up to a journey they could be proud of. The real enemy of progress is not failure. It's inaction. It's standing still while waiting for the perfect time. But perfection is an illusion. Clarity comes through action, and big shifts begin with motion, no matter how small. You might not feel like you're changing the world by working silently today, but one day, the world will feel the impact of your silent effort. So stop waiting for someday. Start where you are, with what you have. One message, one workout, one new habit, one small step, and then take another. That's the formula. That's the secret. That's how mountains move, not in one massive shove, but in thousands of small, committed pushes. If you stay consistent with small steps, they'll eventually lead to big shifts in how you think, how you act, and how you live. You'll wake up one day and realize you're no longer who you used to be, not because of one big moment, but because of 1,000 little ones. The little things were never little. They were everything. So whatever goal is in your heart, no matter how far away it seems, just begin. Start small and stay with it. Because success doesn't belong to the boldest. It belongs to the most faithful. Those who keep stepping forward when no one's cheering, when progress is slow, when the path isn't clear. Step by step, you're building something unstoppable. Small steps may not look powerful in the moment, but over time, they create big shifts that change your life forever. Chapter 9. Mind over matter. Your greatest strength isn't your body, it's your mind. It's not the weight you can lift or the hours you can work. It's the belief you hold, the thoughts you feed, and the focus you train. The phrase, mind over matter, isn't just a motivational quote. It's a powerful truth. Because once you learn to control your mind, you can control your life. Your mind is the command center. It decides whether you give up or get up. It decides whether you push forward or pull back. Every decision you make starts as a thought, and those thoughts either empower you or limit you. That's why mastering your mind is not optional if you want to grow. It's essential. The problem is, most people let their mind control them instead of controlling their mind. They let fear lead, doubt speak loudest, and comfort win the argument. They let thoughts of, "What if I fail?" stop them before they even begin. But here's the truth. Your thoughts are not facts. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. And once you realize that, you unlock the ability to challenge, reshape, and rewire your mindset. Your mind will always offer you two choices, the easy way or the growth way. The easy way will whisper, "Stay where it's safe. Don't risk anything. Avoid discomfort." But the growth way, that other voice, will say, "Keep going. You're stronger than you feel. There's more in you." And the more you choose the second voice, the louder it becomes. Training your mind is just like training your body. It takes repetition, discipline, and patience. You can't expect mental strength to show up on demand if you haven't been building it daily. And you build it by catching your negative thoughts, flipping your inner dialogue, and choosing faith over fear. Even when your circumstances don't change. There will be moments when your body is exhausted, your resources are low, and everything around you says, "Stop." In those moments, what keeps you going isn't motivation, it's mindset. When you tap into that mental toughness, when you refuse to let your emotions dictate your effort, that's when you go beyond what you thought was possible. That's when you unlock your next level. Think about every great achievement in history, from athletes to inventors to world changers. Every one of them faced barriers, critics, and setbacks. But what made the difference wasn't talent or luck. It was mental resilience. It was their ability to rise above the noise in their own heads and say, "This challenge won't break me. It will build me." Mind over matter means you decide what matters. It means your focus becomes your filter. If you focus on problems, you'll find more stress. If you focus on progress, you'll find more strength. Your life follows the direction of your thoughts. So the question is, where are your thoughts taking you? Start feeding your mind with strength. Speak truth to yourself even when you feel weak. Don't say, "I can't." Say, "I'm learning." Don't say, "This is too hard." Say, "This is my training ground." Don't say, "I'm not good enough." Say, "I'm growing every day." The words you speak to yourself shape the world you live in. The body will follow where the mind leads. That means even on your hardest day, if your mind stays focused, your feet will keep moving. Even when you feel like quitting, your mindset can carry you forward. That's the power you have, not outside of you, but inside. And once you understand that your mind can be trained, strengthened, and reprogrammed, you'll never be the same again. You won't always have control over your circumstances, but you always have control over your perspective. And your perspective can turn pain into power, chaos into clarity, and fear into fuel. So the next time your body wants to give up, your energy feels drained, or life feels too heavy, don't ask for things to get easier. Train your mind to get stronger. Because with the right mindset, nothing is impossible. Obstacles become stepping stones. Setbacks become setups. And your limits? They begin to fade. Mind over matter is not just how you win, it's how you survive, thrive, and rise. Chapter 10. The final step is the real beginning. We spend so much time chasing the finish line, the promotion, the transformation, the goal, the win, believing that when we finally get there, life will settle and everything will fall into place. But here's the truth. Few realize. The final step isn't the end. It's the beginning. Because real success doesn't happen when you reach your goal. It happens when you realize you're capable of going even further. You see, the journey doesn't stop when you arrive. It expands. Every goal you reach opens the door to a new level of you. Every victory reveals a new mountain to climb. When you reach the top, you don't stop growing. You start seeing farther. That's the beauty of the final step. It's not a full stop. It's a doorway. This is why so many people feel lost even after achieving something great. They reach their goal, celebrate, and then ask themselves, now what? They think the journey is over, but in reality, a new one has just begun. Because purpose isn't found in the achievement alone. It's found in the momentum, the passion, the ongoing pursuit of becoming better. Growth doesn't end at the final step. It resets. It evolves. It renews. The final step represents a chapter you've closed, but also a blank page waiting to be written. And that's a powerful place to be. You're no longer who you were when you started. You've been shaped by every lesson, every struggle, every setback, every decision to take one more step. That final step is not just a destination, it's a transformation. It says, I'm no longer the version of myself that doubted, delayed, or feared the journey. I've become someone stronger. But the most important question after the final step is this: what now? Do you stop because the goal is complete? Or do you rise because your vision just got bigger? Do you retire your effort? Or do you realize you've only just tapped into your true power? If you want to live a life of purpose, the answer is clear. You keep going. The real winners in life are not the ones who reach one finish line. They're the ones who learn to love the climb, who find joy in discipline, power in progress, and identity in growth. They know that true fulfillment doesn't come from a single moment. It comes from the process of becoming. That's why the end of one path is simply the start of another. So if you're close to your goal, or maybe you've just crossed it, don't let that be the point where you relax into comfort. Let it be the moment you reignite your purpose. Because there is always more inside you, more potential, more impact, more growth. You didn't come this far just to come this far. Think of it this way. Every final step is proof that you can go beyond what you once believed was your limit. And if you broke through once, you can break through again. That's the magic of progress. It constantly expands your view of what's possible. Today's ending becomes tomorrow's foundation. The journey of personal growth is not about reaching one goal. It's about becoming the kind of person who keeps climbing, keeps learning, keeps building. It's about turning every finish line into a launch pad. And that's what this chapter is. A reminder that your power doesn't peak at the top. It multiplies when you realize there's still more to do, more to give, and more to become. So as you stand at the edge of your final step, whether in your health, your mindset, your career, or your relationships, don't look at it as the end of something. Look at it as the beginning of something greater, a deeper purpose, a bolder vision, a stronger you. The final step is not the last move. It's the first move into the life you were truly meant to live. Conclusion. As you close this book, I want you to pause, not just to reflect on the words you've read, but to recognize the journey you've already begun. The truth is, you didn't need this book to tell you that you're capable. Deep down, you already knew. There was more in you. More strength, more courage, more potential. What you needed was a reminder, a push, a spark, something to light up that fire that life tried to dim. And if this book has done anything, I hope it's this. I hope it reminded you of who you are. You are not defined by your failures. You are not limited by your past. You are not stuck, small, or forgotten. You are powerful. You are becoming. You are still in motion. And every time you choose to take one more step, even when it's hard, even when it's invisible, even when it's painful, you are changing your life. This journey we've walked together through these pages wasn't just about motivation. It was about mindset, about identity, about becoming the kind of person who doesn't stop when it gets hard, but rises when it matters most. Because life will keep testing you. You will face moments of doubt, fear, and fatigue. But now you know. You can still move forward. And sometimes, that's all it takes. The chapters you've read were never just about tips or lessons. They were blueprints for becoming unstoppable. Every principle, discipline over motivation, small steps, the pain of growth, mind over matter, was designed to guide you back to your power. The power to choose, the power to fight, the power to rewrite your story, no matter how it began. The power of one more step is yours. Use it, live it, and never stop walking forward.